Hi everybody, you are watching tutorials. My name is Alex, and in this tutorial I'm gonna show you how to design this microscope illustration in Gravit Designer. This style is referred to the flat line. Also, it's not that flat because it contains these shadows. And these shadows, I will show you the best practices how to design them that every professional use. So let's start with a new document, Alt N or Option N on your Mac, and I'm gonna size up it with the website medium. Click on this drop down and choose 1366 to 768 pixels, and then click on the icon to bring up a new canvas. I'm using my own because I have the colors. And first of all, create a rectangle. Grab the rectangle tool, click R or use this tools panel, click a rectangle, and I'm gonna use this top part of the inspector panel to define the sizes. But first of all, I want to deselect this keep ratio. This is a selected state, this is a deselected state, and I want to size up my rectangle with 90 and 205. So I'm going here 90, click enter, and 205, click enter here. So far so good, it looks decent, and I want to use this color FFDAAF. You need to click on the fields to bring up the color picker, and then you can use this hexadecimal value to put the value on. Okay, so far so good. Let's grab another rectangle, clicking R, and create a horizontal one where the width is dominated the height. For this rectangle, I have the size of 200 over 30, so 200 width and 30 of height. You can use up and down arrow keys to decrease or increase the height or width with a step of 1. You can use shift to decrease or increase with a step of 10. You can take a look on the Gravit documentation. Okay, so I want to put it like this. So left side of this rectangle is bisect the middle of my horizontal rectangle. And let's create another one. Grab rectangle tool again, and this time I'm gonna use these sizes. Let me take a look. 120 over 20. So far so good. With this rectangle, I want to convert it to the path, so you head over to this icon, convert to the path, so use the Ctrl Shift P or Command Shift P on your Mac. So convert to the path for one particular reason. I want to then grab the subselect tool, click D, select these two guys on the left, these two knobs. You see they are filled, other two are hollow. And head over to corner radius and set the corner radius to around 12. Right now you have the rounded rectangle, semi-rounded rectangle. Okay, and again I want to fill this color. So far so good. All of this stuff I want to put in the new layer, so click on this new layer icon on the bottom top right of the layers panel, and let's name it solids, because it's exactly what we have, solid colors of the simple shapes. Let's put everything inside. Select the solids by clicking on this solid layer, and then I want to duplicate it. Ctrl Shift D, Command Shift D, and I want to double click and change the name to outlines. With this layer selected, head over to the border. First, of course, we need to select everything. Select the fill and delete the fill, and click on these plus icons opposite to the border title, and I want to go to the border and select this color with color picker 771111. 771111 again provided into the hexadecimal field, and I want to boost the border up to 4 pixels. So far so good. I want to create this as a shared style. So go to the appearance, right to the shared style, click on this drop down and click create new shared style. I want to set the border. Click create, and only one reason, because shared style can maintain both the border weight and border color. So you can refer to this over and over again to quickly transform it to the same border width and border color. It helps you to maintain the consistency of the. Now I want to nudge it down the stand, horizontal stand, and we're good to go. I need to create another layer. This time I want to double click and create the top layer. And this is where all of the rest of the design, including these two shifts, these two circles, and also this optical tubes, the sense that is inclined to 45 degrees. So let's start with this tubes. And I want to grab the rectangle tool again and create a rectangle with 72 pixels of height. So let's create a random and then go to the top part of the inspector panel, set the width to 72, height to 177, click OK. Now we have the tubes, and I want to duplicate these tubes. So hold Alt or Option on your Mac and Shift to move on the straight line, Alt to duplicate, and make a duplicate this on top. And for this duplicate I have these sizes 43 pixels of the width. Make sure that they are aligned properly. Draw a marquee to select them both, align to the center using the align panel on top of the top part of inspector panel. Okay, so this is how it's named in Gravit Designer. Now I want to nudge it down small and make a duplicate again. This time I'm using my eye to guide me through, and I want to decrease this and this part. Okay, so this is decent. I want to grab the color picker and grab this too. Then I want to rotate it on 45 degrees, negative 45 degrees, and put it here. Okay. All right. So far so good. It looks nice, but this part of the stand doesn't reach the my tubers, so I want to boost their heights. Drawing a marquee, selecting them both, and boost the heights. Make sure that this doesn't show up here on the top part of your tubers. Okay, so my optical tubers, let's say it's created on top. It's important, guys. I want to duplicate it. No, before no. Okay, let's duplicate it. That's right. I want to duplicate with Ctrl Shift D or Command Shift D, or just Ctrl D Command D. In the recent versions of Gravit Designer, you can use the Ctrl D Command D. So again, go to the border and reduce the border. You see how it's simplify your workflow. Just use the shared style. Okay, so let's tune up to this optical side, to the lens. And what I'm gonna do, so I want to nudge it down a little bit, both of these, and then put this on top. Okay, that's fine. Right now I like it more. So it looks ridiculously flat. Let's add a little bit more design. So click E to grab the ellipse tool, hold shift to constrain the proportion between width and height, so create a circle, and Alt to draw from the center, or Option on your Mac to draw this circle. And now head over to this guy, keep the ratio, and set it to 30. Click Enter to apply the changes. Select the color, and then I want to go to the duplicated, Ctrl Shift D, or just Ctrl T, sorry. Make sure that you are still drawing on the top part of your layer. And again, grab the border. Again, guys, ellipse again. This time I'm using again Alt and Shift, or Option and Shift on your Mac. Head over to the size, and size should be 60, so twice as bigger than my previous circle. Again, grab the color from here. The color is supposed to be C19070, and then duplicate with Ctrl D, Command D, and set the border. Okay, so far so good. What we have also these two guys. I want to select them as these two menial tiny rectangles, and I want to recolor them to this C87159. So just go to the color picker again and provide this hexadecimal value C87159. Okay, so far so good. Let's work with the shadow finally. Okay, the simplest shadow we can apply to the vertical rectangles and horizontal rectangles. So create a new shadow layer in between the outlines and solids. Shadows. And within this layer, I want to first duplicate this guy, my stand, my vertical stand. Ctrl D, Command D. Then shrink it down up to this point and create a shadow. Okay, shadow into the flat line illustration. The color of shadow derives from the color of the outline. So the color is supposed to be 771111. This is the rule. And transparency can vary from 10 to 30. I'm using, for this particular illustration, I'm using the 30. So first and first, rub this color. You see it here, how it's applied to your shadow. Then go to this field opposite to the fill's color picker. All right, by this visibility icon, and set it to 30. Click Enter to apply the changes. So transparency is 30. And I want to create a new shared style because I don't want to repeat myself again and again. So click Create New Shared Style. This time is border. Create border, shadow, of course. Sorry, shadow. And if you're introducing the highlight, do the same. Store it into the shared style. So click Create, and right now I wanna also create this stand. Ctrl T, Command D, shadow, then shrink it down, and again choose the shadow here. So let's also create the casting shadow on the stand from these tubers. How to do this? Let's hold the Alt or Option on your Mac. Let's hold the Shift. I want to constrain the angle of my movements. Then select the stand. Again, Ctrl D, Command D to create a duplicate. Now make sure that we are using only the duplicates, and head over to boolean shape operators on this drop down here on top and select the intersect. That's fine. And now go to the shadow again. Make sure that this shadow, where is it? This is on top, but it's supposed to be on shadows again. So shadows can supposed to be filled. And from the solids, let's drop there and put them also in the shadow. Okay, so far so good. Let's also create the shadow on this object holder, right? So we need to go to the rectangle and make sure that it is intersected on the bottom part. Ctrl Shift D, Command Shift D with this table, and then make sure that both of them duplicate and this guy is selected. Go to there again, intersect, and provide the intersect command. Now move it in the shadows, of course. In the shadows layer, we are working still with the table. Move it in the shadows layer and now apply the shadow mode. Okay, so do the same for the rest of the pieces. So here is just simple Ctrl D and shrink it down. Sorry, Ctrl D, shrink it down, apply shadow. This is the workflow. Some of them you may find tedious, so I decided to increase the speed. Okay, so with this circle, hold Shift, hold Alt, because we're gonna move to constrain the angle and create a duplicate. And move it a little bit to the bottom right. Now I want to apply the shadow again, and you see it's casting on the main object, so we need to nudge it down on the left panel. How to do this? With Ctrl down arrow. You see here, and last object is again, and hold Shift or hold Shift and Alt to create duplicate this way. It doesn't matter, and hold shadow and then Ctrl down arrow, Command down arrow. Okay, so far so good. We are done with the whole design, and probably I want to round these corners. So how to do this? I want to select both without selecting the shadows and convert it to the path first. Then grab the subselect tool and I want to select this and this, and I want to round the corners. Small, just maybe 4 is enough. So far so good, looks decent. Guys, let's draw small lines here in the center. Gravit Designer will help you to do this task. Again, apply the border. Draw a line here and apply the border. It will be applied automatically if you are repeating this in the row. And now what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna apply the border here as well. So apply the border, then hold Alt to duplicate the design, shrink it down, ta-da. Ctrl G, Command G. I'm making the group. I want to leave it on top, but you can create a new layer. Everything is supposed to be on top here, and create something like lines. Yes, and put it here on the lines layer. Make sure that you are selecting the group, put it here on the lines layer. Now make a duplicate of the group itself, just group, not the lines layer. And I want to put it here on my stand and decrease the size. Make sure that you maintain the same border weight. And because you maintain the border weight, you may face some troubles, like but maintaining the border weight is important. How to do this? You can go to the advanced border settings and make sure that this guy is deselected, how to scale borders. So Ctrl plus, Command plus. What I'm gonna do, I'm gonna hold Shift and okay, the since are pointed to, I want to select all of them and align to the bottom. Okay, now it's good. And what I'm gonna do as well, I want to select this group and rotate it now. holding shift key to rotate to constrain the angle of the rotation. Hold this and then hold this as well. Put it into this tubes and there also shrink it down. You might face some problems here. So again, first you can grab the subselect tool and select only one button, point, wow, and then shrink it down. Put it here. I think I can go through the line, just simply the line here, and apply the shadow here. Oh, sorry, not shadow, the border. And I can go with the line here as well. So just small lines here and there. Again, the border. And wait a minute, the line here. Shift and border, and okay, this is there. Okay, this is the design of the microscope I'm looking for. Now draw a marquee and group node. Don't do this, guys. Let's create the duplicate of this border and scale it in this direction to create a line basement on which the microscope is supposed to stand. Right now I want to create a circle that we are providing the background. So let me first log this layer with colors, and I want to create a new layer for the background, push it on the bottom and rename it to PG. Okay, so with this layer I'm gonna create something like this. Maybe it should cover all the line, but whether to resize this line or not resize this line is up to you. So with this line, this is where the knife tool or a car on your keyboard is helpful. So just move your knife tool and cross it to this line. It's bisect the circle and you delete the minor part. Now select the color for your background. So I'm working with primarily hot colors, so it makes sense to deal with some cold colors, or something like this, like CODDF9. This looks decent. Next step is to draw the bacteria, and let me show you how I did it, how I approached this. So all starts with the rectangle, and then I'm gonna move the corners to the max to 44. Then I want to rub the color and create a duplicate again, maintaining the border, and then I want to go to the border, duplicate it again, sorry, Ctrl D, Command D, and I want to go to the border, and for this particular design I want to use dash. And increase the border weight, of course. So border weight, and then use the 215, and then use the dashes and gaps. Okay, so far so good. Maybe I want to put it to outside position, so use the outside position here. It's perfectly fine. You may find the ends as this round, maybe some more resemble to bacteria. The main object that I want to portray is how to deal with this. These guys. So how to do the swirl effect. Now let me put inside a couple of circles. Again, I want to right now delete this and go to the fill and express the fill. And finally, grab the line tool. Create a vertical line perfectly. So hold shift, create a perfect vertical line. Move again, apply the border. Apply the border, though it's shadow, this border. And move it below the bacteria itself. So it wouldn't be visible. So move it below the bacteria with control down arrow, command down arrow. Now I want to increase, of course, because we have the so overwhelming this part of surroundings. And go to the swirl effect. So your swirl effect will be under effects, more, I believe, distortion, and we need to grab the swirl effect. Okay, so we have the basic motion, and to move it along the line, you can use the center Y because it's vertical line. And this is exactly what we need. Then you can increase or decrease the radius. Actually, radius will influence the flow, the amount of distortion. Now, what you are supposed to do? You can create another swirl effect on top. Don't use the center Y right now. Don't. So for this, is center Y is 80. For this is 50. Everything else is okay. Make sure that you are not exporting it to the SVG, because in SVG it will be rasterized. Okay, all of these are ready right now. Just use the fill-ins with the lines, the fill-ins with the border effect again, and put it over your design. Maybe increase the size somewhere, select them both, and you are dealing with this one and this one. Okay, so we are done for today. Thank you for watching me on YouTube. Thank you for following this tutorial for the end. I really encourage you to visit tutorials.net for more Adobe Illustrator and Gravit Designer tutorials. If you want to download this design, if you want to delete, you can download it on tutorials.net. It's available for absolutely free. You can study on your own. So, thank you for watching. Join Gravit Designer tutorials group. Join Gravit Designer user group. Don't forget that Gravit Designer documentation is available right now, so you can read 400 pages of Gravit docs. And finally, guys, don't give up learning about Gravit Designer. It's a wonderful and free graphic design editor. Thank you for watching. Enjoy your day and happy holidays.